Now, police aren't quite sure just how fast the driver was going when he slammed into this building. People on site helped dig the man out with their bare hands. The victims and their friends were right down this road about half a mile down near the Menominee River. Would you drive 55 miles per hour on the highway? One county official thinks that should be the new speed limit. She says Ray Sherry was a longtime resident of that building. The gaping hole on the side of Rene Torres' apartment complex has been patched up with plywood, but it's still hard for him to believe that an SUV plowed through the building.
The SUV was leaking gas from the bottom. The gas tank, it was leaking. There were gas fumes. I went in there. I didn't care about anything.
Torres was just feet away playing with his children on the lawn when it all happened. Without a second thought, he ran through the hole to help his neighbor that lives in that apartment.
She said she was fine, and I said, I'll be right back.
Then he ran towards the SUV, which had come to a stop in the kitchen.
I took the man out, the driver. He was bloody, and we laid him on the ground. I heard a woman yelling. It was his passenger, and I helped her, too.
The car was traveling west on Calumet Street, where the speed limit is 30 miles per hour. Now, police aren't quite sure just how fast the driver was going when he slammed into this building, but they do say he was cited for drinking and driving.
5 minutes of being a fool basically put 8 families out of their home.
James Nunnig, his pregnant wife Rebecca, and their son Peyton are one of about 20 residents who cannot go in their apartments. Property managers say the building, which now has cracks in the bricks, is too unstable.
The floor isn't safe. It's real soft and could cave in at any time.
And for some residents, it could be up to a month before they get to call these apartments home again. In the town of Menasha, Monica Landeros, Fox 11 News. Right now we're on 8th Street, and this is one of the neighborhoods that had the worst flooding in Oshkosh. Now, you won't believe it, but less than 4 hours ago, this street was flooded up to my knees. I was up to my knees in water in the street, basically just walking through it, trying not to slip on the curves of the street. But neighbors tell me, they don't know who, but someone removed manhole covers, and that allowed the drainage of this street. And neighbors say despite the drainage, they're still going to be cleaning out their basements.
It's completely flooded.
9.5 feet of dirty water has settled into Lori Stang's newly finished Oshkosh basement.
There was fecal mold on the net head. That was from last week's flood, and now, of course, it's double worse.
Worse than any of her neighbors, in fact. Neighbors who are watching the water line, hoping to see it recede.
It's just not going down. We need help. And every storm is like this. It was like this Sunday. It was like this in 2004. Every hard rain will start flooding down here.
About 30 miles away in Waupun, the streets and sidewalks may look dry now. Much of the water has receded, but city officials tell me the situation here is catastrophic.
I would say that's an understatement for us anyway.
This Waupun family, like many others on Newton Avenue, is throwing away everything water touched in their basements, including precious wedding mementos.
We don't know if it's just plain old muddy water or if it's sewer in with it, so we're not going to take any chances.
A few blocks away,
We see all the rippling? That is a driveway, or was a driveway.
the Rock River spillway has spilled over, but has not broken. The city says flood stage for the river is 6 feet. It's at 10 feet now.
If this gives way, I'm afraid what's going to happen downstream with people and families and farms and homes.
Back here in Oshkosh, before this street was dry, city officials told me they were working as fast as they could to clear the street of water. It's not exactly what you might expect to see zipping through the trails in Fish Creek's Peninsula State Park.
It's kind of a earth-friendly, fun, quiet way to enjoy the scenery.
It's a Segway the Door tour.
This used to be a ski jump.
Californian Nick Dokulis runs the tours during the summer. He's led about 1,200 tourists during the last 4 years.
I have people that repeat three times, 4 times.
But learning to ride this two-wheeled, self-balancing, battery-powered machine does not come naturally to all.
Definitely awkward in the beginning, yes.
While riding the Segway can take some getting used to, Dokulis says most of the tourists catch on in a matter of minutes. And he says the key is to move by leaning forward and then backwards.
But you have to let go of your control because it's doing the bouncing for you.
Before hitting the road, the group watches a short safety video,
Keep your wheels at a safe distance from walls.
practices in a parking lot, and signs a waiver. Then it's off to share the trail with walkers, cars, and bikers, some who can't help but notice the group.
Number one, they look like cops. Number two, they sure aren't getting much exercise.
I think he's absolutely right. I think we should all be on bikes and walking, but this is so much more fun.
And Douglas says tourists get to see and experience about 9 miles of the state park without breaking a sweat. In Door County, Monica Landeros, Fox 11 News.